marker in my pocket. All right, let's get started. Trying to remember if I took the day off yesterday. After we lost Bootsie. I don't even remember if I made a monument. This village. Because it doesn't even look like there's a village. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we made a monument. And I already got rid of all of our apples. So we're going to keep heading southwest. By ourselves without Bootsie with us. Bootsie was a good horse. Was fast. Loved to run. And I was just being reckless. So it's kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer that Bootsie is no longer with us. It's really sad. Guess that's just life on the frontier, out in the wild. So we're doing a Friday night stream. The weekend is here. The market is closed. This week was a very crazy week for anything. So I'm just gonna, I was gonna do some Forex streaming, but I really felt like getting back into the Minecraft real quick, and I might stream Forex later tonight. We'll do some Forex Tester. We'll talk about this past week, what I've learned, and we'll see. Right now we are playing Minecraft. And we are afloat without a horse. And all I have are my golden apples. And memories of poor old Bootsie. So I think for the time being, I'm just going to stay strictly on the water. I'm going to stay in the water as much as possible. Avoid land, unless I see horses. Let's try and get a new horse. You know, actually, I got no horse, so I might as well... Actually, no, I probably shouldn't. I was thinking I could go in, might as well just run through the jungle. Just head into the thick of it. But I can't be stupid. I gotta stay smart. I gotta stay one step ahead of the Reaper. Whoa! You see the dolphin jump right by us? I still can't believe I let Bootsie get killed. I guess it doesn't hurt to go exploring now. Nice. 57 emeralds. Let me just check our bearing right now. Make sure we are still headed in the right direction. Wait a second. What? So that way's west. Which way have I been going? That way's west. Okay. See how easy it is to just get confused? What in the world? We need to go that way. What's going on here? Try to put this boat down. There you go. Okay. So we need to chase the sun. Why was I going east? I don't know. Anyway, Got to check your bearings frequently just to make sure that you're headed in the right direction. Just shampooed our carpet 3 stinking times. It is still dirty. On the bright side, this is a terrible bright side. Traveling without a horse, it's a little bit easier. I don't have to worry about... Oh, I heard something. Finding a place to stay. Just build this little hole in the wall here. Call this home for the night. And I don't have to worry about anything. It is going to make the journey a lot slower though. That's the only other thing. Why did I do that? Alright, where is Mr. Sun? So we are going to the west and to the south. I'm gonna try something real quick. What if we make this as fast as possible? Uh-oh. I froze it. Oh, okay, there we go. I just want to see what happens. How this messes up with the system. So far, I'm just seeing it load a little bit. I don't know if I should have done this live, like while I was streaming, but I don't really see a problem happening here. Nothing's slowing down. We're still getting 30 FPS. CPU usage is actually dropped 1%. We're not getting any drop frames, and we're still at about 6,000 kbps, which, I mean, seems pretty good. Let's see, where are you going, son? Okay, so we are headed in the correct direction. To the west. Now I'm probably just going to go through here and see if we can make it through this jungle without having to get out into the actual jungle. And I know I'm missing a lot of opportunity to explore, but I am focused right now. I am on a mission just to get back home. And if I could just do that, then things would be so much better. Like, that's really all I want to do right now, is just find home, find the place where it all started. And once I do that, I can get back to exploration mode. I just really want to get home right now. I've lost 4 horses. And it weighs heavily on my conscience. I really don't care about exploration at this point. Because if I could get home, if I could find home, then their deaths will not have been in vain. But if I never find home, then they died for nothing. Pony, Fawn, Bootsie. Fawn. Okay, so Pony died by drowning in the ice. Fawn died by being exploded by a creeper. And Bootsie was killed by a drowned. And I feel like there was one more. I just can't remember. I feel bad for it. But maybe there wasn't one more. Maybe I'm just taking on more weight. The one more that I'm considering is the one that is the one spirit that they all encompass all together. The one that is me without a horse. It's the one that lingers. Alright, I really don't feel like looking. Let's keep going. Southwest is the direction. We gotta move as much as possible, as fast as possible. I mean, eventually we gotta see something somewhere. Desert biome, I haven't seen that in a while. Mostly just forest, jungles, snow. This is kind of refreshing just to be someplace different. So we know that the, let's try one more thing. Let's see if we can get, Fancy and Fabu. Let's try Fabu. See how that do. It's rebuilding everything. I really don't notice a difference. Is this a village or just a temple? Oh, it's just a temple. Should we explore it? Do not want any surprises from the world outside, so let's keep that there. Mark that. We get down. Oh snap, yeah, forget that. Let's get out of here. Let's just leave. I don't need that. I don't need that kind of stress in my life. Creepers. Oh man. I'm trying to get home. I'm trying to get home in one piece. I'm trying to get home with over 200 diamonds. Let's just keep going in the direction we have been going in. So CPU usage, it went up slightly, about 0.5%. Still 0 drop frames, and we're still hovering at 6,000 kbps and 30 frames. So I guess my computer can push it. Barely. It's developing slowly. But not bad. Let's go west. Let's just follow the sun. Since the sun is setting and there is not a town in sight, we will just follow the sun. I really don't see a difference. Great. Just great. Maybe we can find an island to camp out on. See some jungle over there. Hopefully we can get an inlet. What if I just camp here for the night? Couple torches. Throw the bed down. Take a quick nap. Too shabby. Now we'll just go over here and see what is over this hill. Like a mermaid. Alright, let's keep going. Wherever we are, we're almost there. Put down a candle. You know, just in case we pass through here again. Working on the vocal texture to make sure that I don't get too abrasive. Trying to keep my voice from becoming too harsh or too aggressive. And it takes a lot of awareness, a lot of being conscious of your behavior. Because it could be considered one of those bad habits where you don't think about it and it's just something you just do. And it's really exhausting, and it seems really exhausting just trying to be aware 100% of the time, all day, just trying to be present. But it's only exhausting because it's not your natural mode. Your natural mode is just reactive. That's what your natural mode is, just to react constantly. Constantly react to this, constantly react to that. And you don't think that's reacting, or you don't think it's exhausting, because that's just what you normally would do. But just because it's what you would normally do doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy. Because normal doesn't always equate healthy living. This is going to be fun. It's like being in an abusive relationship might seem normal for you, and that's why a lot of people keep going back to it. That's why it's hard to get out of these cycles of pain. But at the lowest level, you're aware that it's happening. You're aware that you're like that. The problem is the ability to change, the ability to remain conscious and aware all of the time. It's just like when you're a jerk. If you're a jerk, then that's your natural state. And it's just easy to be a jerk. It's gonna take a lot of effort not to be a jerk. And if you're an abuser, it's gonna take a lot of effort not to be an abuser. But you also have to allow people the opportunity to change. I'm not saying forgive and forget. Definitely forgive, but always remember. Purple torches. I hear a skeleton. I have some dirt. force it. Oh no. All right, let's get out of here. That's what it all comes down to, is I'm trying to become more aware of my voice. I'm trying to become more aware of how I speak to people and how I interact. It's interesting with those around me, especially my family. I mean, it all starts with my family, but then it radiates out to you guys out there in TV land, in internet world. How am I talking with you? How is my behavior towards you? How do you remember our interactions? And it's funny because I'm getting really, really tired of these bots and these people shilling, that I can tell and I can feel myself become very skeptical of anybody that comes into the chat. My first instinct is to treat them like a normal chat, a normal person, a human being. But I can feel that being eroded away to where find myself laying in bed at night wondering maybe I should just ignore people in the chat. Because odds are it's not a real person. But then that kind of goes against everything I started, or not everything, but one of the things that I like about streaming is the conversation. I enjoy talking. I like small talk. I enjoy the small talk, the banter, the checking in. That's fun for me. That's part of the fun and part of the appeal of streaming. And it sucks that these scammers and bots are going to ruin that. They're going to take that away from us. So I've been looking online to try to figure out how to prevent or even limit how bots interact with my channel. And it all just seems like a lot of work. Seems like so much work just to weed out the bad. And I need to find a place to camp, because it is nighttime. And I don't see a town, a village. See a tree. All right, I think I need to get on the water real quick, because I don't want to be on land when the sun sets. Oh, I see a well. But I saw a town, but it's just a well. Oh, excuse me. Jeepers creepers. Maybe I can find a small island to camp out on. Is that a dead end right there? It's like it continues. Yes, perfect. We can keep this party going. Ooh. All right, getting a little tight here. Let's check our bearings. Where are we going? So we're still going south, which is good because that's the direction we want to go. Southwest is where we want to go. There's that sound I love so much. Can you not, buddy, please? Not bothering you, don't bother me. I will make your life difficult. Oh, ooh, that guy is asking for it. Oh, man. Look at that mountain. It looks like a face. It's got a mouth, 2 eyes. Let's go that way. Is this way west? Yeah. Have over here. Creeper City. Creepyville. Lava over there. It's like we're going to be rowing into the night. Creepers, creepers everywhere. Let's get out of here. Yikes. We have over there. Nope, not a village, just lava. Just a lava flow. Interesting land structure for sure. Is that a village? I think that's a village. But it is way too far for me to even consider heading that way. See nothing of interest on this island here. So maybe sail around it. I was looking at my 2023 recap, and my 3 biggest streaming topics, categories. My 3 big is of number 1, Minecraft. Number 2 is makers and crafters, and number 3 was Roblox. And for Minecraft, it had 10% of the top, and I don't know what that means. And there's this thing that doctors give you when you take your kids to the pediatrician, and they tell you, oh, your child is in the 76th percentile, or your child is in the 50th percentile, or your child is in the 32nd percentile. And I'll just be like, oh, okay, cool. All right. And I don't know what that means either. Does that mean they're 32 below or 32 above? And then 60, is that 60 above or 60 below? I don't know how these percentages work. So I saw the 10% from Minecraft and I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Is that 10% of my overall stream? Is mine, wouldn't it be like 90%? Or if I'm the 10%, does that mean I'm only leaving 10% for everything else because this is 90% of what I do? Never understood that. That's been a problem for me all through high school, is these kinds of, I guess even through grade school. So from grade school through high school, and the thing is I never really asked for help either. I never asked for clarification. I would never, because I didn't want to look stupid. So instead of looking stupid for a minute, I was just made to be stupid for my whole school life. There's a lot of things like that I just didn't understand, but I didn't want to ask for help because I didn't want to look stupid. So I wouldn't ask and I wouldn't find out and I would give up. Math formulas were the worst. I remember they would teach us like Sokoto. I don't even know what that means anymore. They would teach us like A is pi r squared. I don't know what the heck that means. They would have that one formula where you would make the cat face. You would have one ear, another ear, and then the bottom of the face, and then the mouth. And I don't even know what that formula does either. I don't even know what A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I don't even know when you use any of these things that I'm saying. I just remember the formulas, but I don't know when to use them. I don't know why you use them. And I just never asked. And it could have been as easy as just me being like, teacher, I don't know what that means. Can you help me understand it? I also think it has a lot to do with being around a lot of impatient grown-ups. Just grown-ups who didn't have any patience to not just sit and explain things, but just sit and explain things to a kid who really can't see these concepts in their mind's eye, you know? Like, I can't put them together in my head. When I look at things, like when I see things in my mind, I see things spatially. I don't see things linearly. Like they're not in a line. They're not in a neat list, which is why when I make to-do lists, it's super helpful for me. Because otherwise, I know the things that I need to do. I need to clean this. I need to do this. I need to set up this. I need to pay this. And it's all just swirling around in my head. And I can see them. Like I can see them. But I wouldn't even know what to do first. I wouldn't know where to start. And so that's why when I do a list, then I can look at, okay, I'll just start with this and I'll go to this next, go to that next, go to that one next. So when somebody's giving me a formula and trying to attach it to something, in my head, that formula is just floating around and it has no anchor. And if they're giving me example after example after example, this formula is tied to all these examples. It's like all the examples suddenly converge and then they start getting jumbled. And then I'm like, well, the example was just one long formula. And that's how I'll see it in my, and I have no anchor for this formula. So then I just end up confused. And then I don't want to ask for help because I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to be thought of as stupid. I don't want the teacher to think I'm an idiot. And she gets my test paper and she's like, man, this kid's an idiot. He doesn't know what the heck he's doing. What in the world is this crazy? And I used to just make up stuff too. Like they would show your work. And I would get the answers right because for some weird reason, I could figure out the answer to the problem. What I couldn't figure out was how I got that answer. I just knew like, okay, I can see somehow and that answer is this. But then they'd be like, we got to show your work. It's like, oh man. So then I would just make up, like I would just fill in weird math. It was like I remember learning long division. And then just, you need to show your work. And I was like, oh, how do I don't know how I got the answer. I just know I got the answer and I'm happy with it. Well, you need to show your work. Okay, you want me to show my work? I'm just going to make something up because I don't know how I did it. All I know is that I did it. And so I would make up just the weird this times this equals this under here. You write it under here, you plus 3, you subtract, carry the 1, bring it over, all kinds of just whatever. I didn't even care. Because I didn't know what I was doing. Word problems used to be the worst for me too, because I would read the story and I would just read the story. But then the problem would end up jumbled in my head. Like I could read the story and I could see it and I can understand it, but it wasn't in my head. It wasn't linear. It would be like those train problems where the train is coming 60 miles an hour around this bend and another train is coming from this side at 70 miles an hour. At what point would they meet in the center? And so it seems real linear. Like, okay, you got this train, and then you got the center. What happens? But that story, as I'm reading it, I would have to hold the idea of a train somewhere in this space, and then I would hold the idea of the other train somewhere in this space, and then I would have to hold the rest of the details somewhere in other spaces. And the more I read, the more stuff is getting crowded in that space. And so then they all get tighter and they get jumbled and there's more details than I need. Like I'm trying to figure out, is one train a wooden train and is another train made out of metal? And what city are they coming from? And how many passengers is it carrying? I'm thinking of things that aren't even relevant to the problem. So it was really, really, really hard for me. And then just confusion. And I realize it's because I don't see things linearly. Like my wife, she thinks linearly. She knows what she needs to do first to get to the next step, to get to the next step. With me, I just know there's things that need to get done. And there really is no step. There is no things, it's why I like Minecraft. Because it's kind of like the way that I think. It's open-ended. But right now, I want to explore. But I can't explore because I'm really just trying to get home. So it simplifies it for me. It's like, okay, I can't explore because I'm just looking for home. I want to explore here. I want to explore here. I want to live at this town. I want to live at that town. And it's just a bunch of space. But I can break it down to the simplest terms where I'm just trying to find home. That is the only thing that's occupying this space up here is just the thought of home. Just trying to get home. You can find home and then go crazy. So I just run and keep. I'm Forrest Gump right now. I'm just running. I'm not concerning myself with anything, not overwhelming myself with too many problems and extra work. I'm just trying to get home. Simple as that. It's a good thing I got some bread too. It's not nighttime yet. And it was funny because first time I tried Adderall, that space in my head, that brainstorm, that cloud became just a circle with step 1 and then step 2 and then the next circle, step 3. Everything became linear and life got so much clearer. It was crazy. It was crazy that life could be that way. That I didn't know how messed up I was until I saw things in my mind's eye clearly for the first time. When that brainstorm became a list. And I was like, is this how normal people see things? Is this how I'm supposed to see things? Like, that's what I thought. I was like, man. And I was like, man, what was I? Like mid-30s when I went to my doctor and I was like, look, I need help. Because this is not working for me. And he was like, all right, well, we'll try this. We'll try that. We'll try this. And suddenly I'm like, I can see. It was like putting on glasses for the first time. I didn't know I was blind. I take my glasses off. If you need glasses as a kid, you don't know you're blind. You're kind of just like, I just need to look harder. And then your parent or some adults like, you need glasses. And then you go to the doctor's, the optometrist, they put glasses on your face and you're like, everything has edges? I thought everything was fuzzy. I thought everything was just fuzzy. And you're like, look at these words. I didn't know words looked like that. It's like it's a whole new world out there. And that's what it was like for me when my doctor was like, here, try this. And I was like, okay. And suddenly I'm like, I can think clearly now. It was insane. It was the craziest thing. It was like mind opening. Really. It was really, really crazy. And then suddenly everything makes sense. You're like, oh, okay. I think I'm an idiot. I think I spent my whole life being an idiot. And now I finally have a chance to not be an idiot. And I'm going to take it. I'm going to do the most with it. And then before you know it, you're quitting jobs that you hate because you realize how pointless they are and how you're wasting your time. And then you start your own business and 10 years later, you're working for yourself. And it may have been the best decision you've ever made. And you're still like I'm still trying to make my life better and better and better every day. Because I really didn't know how weird my brain was. Like how, I don't want to say dysfunctional. It's kind of a dysfunctional brain. My brain didn't work. Well, let's see, that's a funny thing too, because so it's not so much that my brain was dysfunctional, because like I've been super creative my whole life. Been able to come up with stories. I listen to albums. And I write stories for them. I have a story for, I can name like 5 albums. AFI Sing the Sorrow. I have a story for that album from the beginning, first song to the last song. For Ignite, what is War Against You? No, yeah, War Against You. I have a story for that album from the beginning to the end. For Boy Sets Fire, Plague Years. What was it? The Misery Index, Tales from or Notes from the Plague Years. I have a story for that album from beginning to end. What else? Like, that's just for The Offspring, Ixnay on the Ombre. I got a story for that because I'll listen to music, and my brain will just hear the songs, and it'll come up with a story for them. And that's what I love doing. That I enjoy doing that. Just writing stories, coming up with characters. But it's a little harder when I'm too focused on the music. So there's a price, there's a toll for everything. So I'm not going to say my brain wasn't fully functional. It just, I really didn't know how to utilize what it could do. I wasn't optimized, let's put it that way. And so what the medication did was it showed me the way, and like, your brain can work like this. This is how your brain can work for you. This is how, basically what it did is like, this is how lists work. And so I was like, oh, okay, so that's how. Oh, man, it's so weird, the terms. I'm trying to think of the right words because I want to say, oh, that's how a functional brain works. No, that's just how an organized brain. That's I think that's what it is. This is how an organized brain works. And then my brain was just disorganized. But the funny thing is about disorganized brains is that you can be creative from the chaos. Whereas an organized brain, it's a little bit harder to be creative. So it's interesting. Very, very interesting. And that's one of the problems with stimulants, is that you become dependent on the stimulant, and that causes you to become it normalizes you. You know, that becomes your normal state. And then after months, years, suddenly you're not getting the same effect. It's not as effective. But that's not because the stimulant isn't effective. It's just because your brain is now wired differently. Now your brain works differently so that it doesn't need the stimulant as much as it used to. Because now you know how to be successful. Now you have developed the habits to work the way you want to work, or to do the things that you know you need to do. So the stimulant isn't less effective. It's just less effective on you because of the brain functions. And that's where people start to abuse their medication, and they'll start to take more, or they'll start to try something stronger. You know, I forgot to put up a monument at that last town. There is our monument. That kid closed the door on me. So I'm not looking for the next thrill or for a rush. Saw a lot of ads for a while on Instagram about people abusing Adderall, and they were selling all these natural remedies for it. But the thing that bothered me the most was the commercials. One of the commercials I remember clearly was this girl was like, I remember in high school, we were all taking Adderall. You were taking Adderall. I was taking Adderall. He was taking Adderall. We were all taking Adderall. And we were all... And I was like, that's not how you're supposed to take Adderall, number one. If you're supposed to be taking Adderall, it's very boring. You take it, and then you just go about your day. That's it. Simple as that. And if you're using Adderall like the way this lady was talking about in the commercial, that's called drug abuse. So I don't think you need vitamins. I think you need to seek a counselor, because there's something a lot deeper going on here. That was one of the funniest things, or funnier things too, was that I didn't feel high the first time. I didn't feel euphoric. In fact, I've taken naps. I'll take my dose, and then I'll sit down, and then I'll just close my eyes, and I will fall asleep. And because of all the, I guess, the stigma behind it, I used to think like, oh, is there something wrong with me because I'm falling asleep? Am I abusing this drug? What am I doing? What's happening? And I get scared. But then over time, I'm just like, no, that's just the way it reacts. I feel fine. I don't feel anxious or overwhelmed. Which this anxious and overwhelmed feeling I had been feeling my whole life. Like, what happens next? What happens next? What happens next? I never knew what was happening next, and that would drive me crazy. And it still kind of drives me crazy when I don't know what's happening next. Which is why I stream a lot. Because at least I know what's happening. I'm streaming right now. And the world is crazy right now. But at least I can say, well, everything might be in disarray. There might be a sheet of ice outside and the city might be shut down. But right now, I'm streaming. Just me and the viewer in the back there. Just hanging out, having a good time. That's what I'm doing. So the medication isn't the problem solver. It's just a step in the right direction to learn how to solve the problem. It's an aid. It's kind of a guide. Like, this is how your brain can work when you have built the resources to utilize it this way. So it's like, oh, I can just create a habit. I can just meditate every morning. I can just take a cold shower every morning. I can just work from this time to this time. I don't have to do anything fancy. Yeah, that's all you have to do. Okay. Because I even asked my doctor, I asked my doctor like a year into it. I was like, am I going to have to do this for the rest of my life? And he's like, well, we'll see. I mean, you won't have to, but if it helps, you could certainly keep on using it. Because that's always been my fear, is that, oh, this is going to be something that I'm going to need for the rest of my life. This is going to be something that I'm going to have to take on a schedule every day. And I don't want that kind of dependency, especially for a medication. Because what if the time comes when I can't afford it anymore? Because I have no insurance. and everything we do is out of pocket. So what if the time comes when, well, I'm gonna have to, do I feed the kids or do I buy the medication? What's gonna happen? Of course, I'm gonna feed the kids, but then I'm not gonna have the medication. And then is the medication gonna change who I am? Am I gonna be out of control when I'm not on it? What's gonna happen? There's that anxiety comes back. I don't know what's gonna happen next, and it scares me. But then my doctor was real, like, yeah, we'll see. You might not need it. It might just help you right now. But right now, we're just playing Minecraft, is essentially what he said. Right now, just playing Minecraft. Just see what happens, and we'll go from there. Is this a village? So it's interesting. Life is just interesting. Things are interesting. Stuff happens. And you have a goal and you kind of explore, but we have an ultimate goal that we're chasing. Just like in life, my ultimate goal is to get good at trading. But that's not even my ultimate goal. What is the ultimate goal? Is to build wealth. That's my ultimate goal. And how will I achieve that? Getting good at trading. By learning everything I can learn about it. By continually improving my skill. Learning new techniques. Adapting what works. Discarding what doesn't. And honing. Just sharpening that edge. Sharpening that edge. And getting better. That's the ultimate goal. Everything ties into that ultimate goal. Why are you doing this? Because I'm tired of working. I'm tired that my wife has to work. I don't want this to be the legacy I leave for my kids. A legacy of hard work and backbreaking labor. Which is why I'm okay with them doing it now, because in the future, it's going to be so different. They're not even going to recognize their old life. They're not even going to remember our old life. Our old life is going to be like a weird dream. And then the opportunities are going to open up for all of us. All right, next town I see, we are calling time. You know, now that I've said all of this, I really should be studying more in the Forex tester. I should be doing that at least an hour, at most 3 hours a day. It's getting better, getting better. I should stay out of the real market as much as possible and then trade in Forex tester, just testing, just constantly testing. Well, where in the world are we? We are in the middle. Ooh. Creepy. What was that? Oh, it's a little dolphin. Been following us for a while, I guess. Let's check our bearing. This way is west, so we are headed in the correct direction. I think I'll just sit back for a minute. It's interesting when you think about it, because my average viewership is usually point something, which means I don't even constantly always have one viewer. Which isn't lost on me. I understand. Why am I doing this? Who am I talking to? If I'm not talking to you back there, then that would just mean I'm talking to myself. Which isn't a bad thing. Because sometimes you have to say things out loud so you can hear them back. Because kind of like when I say things internally, it floats around in that cloud up there in my head, and I can't really hear it or see it or even understand it. But when I say things out loud, I can hear them back and I can think about it. Like as I was saying all of this, then I'm realizing I really should be practicing more. Because you can always practice less and less and less, and that will never help you. But I could always be practicing so much more. And that couldn't hurt. And sometimes you just don't think about it. I just think, okay, I'll practice whenever I stream. I'll stream it and I'll practice, and sometimes we don't even get to that part. Which isn't all that good. I should be practicing more. What is that thing right there? Is that a portal? Just weird tree shape. It's like a portal. Maybe we can bunk here. Nope. Oh, there's endermans and spiders. I wonder what would happen if I looked at one. I guess they can't go in the water. What about that one? Let's get him grazed too. That spider's getting awfully close though. Alright, I made a mistake. Making them upset like that. What is the length, the farthest they can teleport? I wonder, because I'm about to go on land, and I do not want to go on land with these guys mad at me. Alright, I think they're gone. I think I'll be fine. Alright, so the next town we find, we are out of here. So let's see if we can find some land. Find a village. Because I think it's almost dinner. No, you look too much like Bootsie. I can't. I keep pushing the wrong button. I can't. It's too soon. It's too soon. too much like Fawn and Bootsie. I need a different horse. Chickies. All right, just need one village. Just one village. That's all I need. Just one village. Give me a village. Make sure we're going the right way. Yep. Heading west. Look at this. Isn't that majestic? Another majestic. Look at that little pool there. Big old fall. That would have been terrible. I think a horse would be handy right about now. Let's go this way. I won't have to climb that mountain there. And honestly, I don't know how long we're going to keep running this direction. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep this up. Looking for home. And we're ever going to find it. We made it. We are in a new village. Chest. We got bread. Hopefully we can find some apples. Let's find the center of the town. Let's put this up so people can get into this house better. I don't know who designed this village, but they need to not design anything else. No apples. More village over here. Where is the center of the village? There it is. All right, so let's put up our monument right here. Now we will raid these people's houses as if they were our own. Oh, sounds like dinner's ready. We got apples. Alright, so now that we got everything we wanted, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Viewer in the back, thanks so much for joining me. Thank you for just listening to my inner dialogue. I forget what they call it, but that's basically it. We're gonna call it a night. I might be back with some forex trading, some testing, and we'll see. It's Friday, time to party, so we'll get that done. So thank you so much for being here. To everybody else, thanks for stopping by. Always remember, always remember, neurons that fire together, wire together. I'll see you next time. Hey, little dude. go find a place of my own. Thanks. Let's... Nobody's here. I think I'll stay here for the night.